So first of all, thank you for being here. I would like to invite you to just watch this movie because you're probably going to see something that you've never seen in pilot training before. So just watch this.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. We'll be landing in the airport in just a few minutes.
Okay, so this is what we're going to introduce now. Krista is the CEO of the WECAIR. I'm the head of training of FR, former 777 captain with Emirates, and also until now TRI on 737. We like to introduce you different kind of training to take care of you from the beginning and be strongly oriented for the airline operation. We start work together like 2 years ago with small numbers. They're growing up, and this is the clear signal to us that we're doing well. And we prepare the introduction of the new program, which we are presenting right now, and you will be flying over 3 continents on this program. Who is the FR? So the FR is like, we have 24 years or 25 years of work, 35 years on the training of the pilots. We also train like more than 3,000 pilots with 45 nationalities, and we are located in the heart of the Europe in the Czech Republic, and we have 4 bases. Mainly will be trained on the main base on Benešov, and the other bases in Karlovy Vary, which are basically prepared for the group training for the oriented to the airlines. So I think we can step to the next one, and Krista will take over now.
Thank you, Miroslav. Now, most of the people that are here are looking probably for pilot training. So when I get these students in our school, there are always 2 questions that are always the same. The first question is, how much is this pilot training going to cost? And the second one is, does this school has a partnership with Airlines, right? But I can tell you, it's not just about a transaction. It's about a transformation. We're not going to train pilots just for a license. There are so many schools can do that, and they're definitely going to do a good job. But you get a job after that. That is the real question. So instead of asking these questions that are certainly important, according to me, there are 2 much more relevant questions than that. And the first one is, you as a future pilot, do you have the competences, the capacities to follow the courses? Do you have the discipline, the stress tolerance, and so many other things that you need to become a pilot, or not? That should be the first question. And the second question is then, what is the school going to do to make sure that after that you have your license, you got a job? What does their program look like? But most of the time, nobody asks these questions. What always surprises me, right? So again, pilot training is not about getting a license. It's about getting the job. So in order to do that, we as a pilot training school, an international pilot training school, what are we doing about it? It's very simple. The first thing is honesty. Honesty towards you all. We refuse today more than 50% of the students that want to train with us. I don't want your money, I don't want your check. That is not important for us. What's more important is, and when we will be successful, and it's the only moment that you are integrating an airline. When my students are calling me and saying, Mrs. Vandermeulen, yeah, I'm there, I succeeded, I've got the job, then we have done a good job. But getting 50, 100 students by just paying, I'm not interested in that. And that makes a huge difference. The second thing is that the students that get into the school, we need to take them by the hand and make sure that we strive for excellence. We don't want standard pilots. We want excellence in everything what we're doing, right? Today, let's give a figure. You all know probably that you wanna, when you do the test, the ATPL test, you need a success rate of 75% on each module, right? Fine. Do you get a job with that? No. Because the reality is that when we are talking to airlines, if you do not have 85% on your ATPL, your CV goes into the bin. And that is the reality, right? Also, do you think today, with an ICAO level of 4 on English, which is mandatory, that you're going to get a job? No. It is at least level 5. So then, we as a school, we need to put things in place so that you could achieve that, right? So you need to surpass yourself. Again, I'm repeating myself, but it's so important. So many students spend thousands and thousands and thousands just to become an airline pilot, but maybe they never get the job, right? So honesty is very, very important. Now, the reason why I showed you that movie is that because we have like a kind of the think out of the box attitude, we've put everything in place to make sure that you are going to be the pilot that companies want to recruit, right? And that's what it's all about. So for instance, in this unique 3-continental program, what we've done is, first of all, like I told you before, severe admission tests. We only want the best. We don't want a standard level. We want the ones that can get the job, right? So after the admission test, for the ones that succeed and they can get into our program, we will send them straight away to Florida. Why Florida? It's not because it's a fancy place, although I admit there is worse. If you look outside, a day like today in Belgium, it's raining. Your first phases of flight, the weather needs to be nice, because otherwise you cannot take off. We do not want any interruption in the training. We want you to continue from the beginning to the end. And our students in Florida are flying not once a day, but most of the time twice a day, right? You're going to get a double aeronautical culture, American, but at the same time, European. Wow. You're going to take off from Orlando, from Miami, from Fort Lauderdale, from Palm Springs, and so on. That is what companies are looking for, not just circling around these nice areas, maybe, on an aerodrome, We want you to be capable of taking off and landing like our students next to Delta Airlines and American Airlines that are taking off. That's what we want. And on top of that, you will be completely in the English immersion. Like I said, ICAO level 4, forget about it. It's level 5 at least, right? Then when you come back, you come to Bordeaux at the Aero Campus that we've shown in the movie. So in Bordeaux, we're gonna test you 5 times a week, right? The 75%, we don't want that. We want at least the 85%. But more than that, what we want is that you are capable of putting theory into practice. It's not about learning on the top of my head. I can learn 13,000 questions on top of my head and succeed the exam, although I will not pass one interview. We want our students to be capable of putting theory in practice. If I ask them today, can you tell me about a hydraulic system? They are capable of not just explaining it, but also drawing it. And that's what we want. Security is the number one in aviation. So airlines want pilots that do understand what they're learning, right? So that is about the theory. Today, our average score on the theory, guess what? 92.7%. And that's what we want. Then after that, we take you to South Africa. You're going to say, another fancy place. But why South Africa? Very simple. You're going to fly into the mountains, over the desert, over the savannah, over the sea, along the coastline, etc. We're going to do a fly away with you. You're going to leave maybe with 5 aircrafts with instructors, and you're going to do the whole trip around South Africa so that you're capable of flying in all conditions, right? And that's what airlines need. And then when you come back, we continue with this philosophy, and you're going to go to Prague, to WECAIR. And I leave it up to Miroslav now, because he's the living icon in this, I would say, to explain why we've chosen Prague. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Krista. Okay, so after this, completing the previous training on States and South Africa in the VMC conditions, you will be challenging the most important transition in your career from pilot training into the airline operation. So first of all, you will get a training for the multi-engine operation. So we're using the Tecnam 2006 airplanes. We have 6 of these airplanes on our school, so we can assure the continuity of the training. If one airplane has been in the maintenance, we have another 5 to operate, so we are not limited to one airplane like most of the schools, or some of the schools, they really do. After you learn, what you learn on this, yeah? So you will build up like strong manual flying precisions, confidence in asymmetric and one-engine operation, IFR discipline, advanced workload management, and this will move you from learning to fly to learning to operate. So you will be flying the IMC conditions approaches in center of Europe. We fly to the also foreign countries like Austria, Germany. And after you complete this kind of training, you go to your CPL, commercial pilot license. After you obtain the training for CPL, you become the professional pilot. So this is the first step to continue. And it's not all. Definitely, you will get airline oriented from the day one. So we teach you, and we will build your ability to be transferred to the airlines very smoothly from day one. Yeah. So we talk about this engine, the IFR discipline, all this stuff. And after completing the CPL and the multi-IFR training, you will get UPRT, of course. You will touch the bit of the aerobatics, spins and all this stuff. And you start to operate the real simulators of the airplane. So we have a 737 simulator 800 and we have A320. And you will go through APS MCC complete program. What is APS MCC? What does it mean? APS is Airline Pilot standards. So we build you up to the standards to join the operation with the airline very smoothly. All the program is like 40 hours on the simulator. Everything you will get from us is in one package. It's under one umbrella. So we work very close to each other. We monitor your progress and everything. We're doing some checks and just trying to keep you really on the line and on the right direction. As I said, we did it for 2 years already, and the pilots are really very happy. I remember Krista told me when one of the first groups arrived from the FR after training, and he said, this APS training, it's an eye-opener, you know? So it was really something they never expected, that they can get this kind of training. So we go through all these things, and we really develop your skills and everything to be easily transferred to the airline operation. It's also using the SOPs from the airlines, from Boeing and from Airbus, and you go through really very, very nice and perfect training until you finish with us, yeah? So we are the world-class school. We are, I already mentioned, we are, we are in the Central Europe. We have already a lot of experience with the airline operation training and with the cadet programs. So we are training the students for like Air Arabia. We do the MPL training for them. It's already running for 4 years now. We have Vietjet, we have Vietnam Airlines, we have big contract with Qatar Airways, and we do the training for SmartWings as well, which are located in the Prague in Czech Republic. We have some contract with Lufthansa Training Center, so we can get you into the Eurowings and these kind of airlines. They covering under one umbrella. Okay, the conclusion. What is the conclusion? For airlines, we provide operational mature cadets ready for efficient integration into the type rating and line training, of course. Together with the WECAIR, we are not just qualifying the pilots like everybody does. We are developing the professionals ready for the modern multi-engine environment. And I truly believe this can bridge you from the airline, from the training into the airlines and into the future commercial aviation. We have still maybe 2 minutes left.
Maybe I can just add
or
something
if you can
onto
add
that.
something.
Thank you, Miroslav. I think you all, there's so much choice out there. One thing I would like to emphasize, well, basically 2 things. First of all, we've got nothing to sell, right? It's going to be you and only you that can decide, and by showing that you've got the capabilities, that you can integrate. Otherwise, we're not selling anything, first of all. Second thing, what I would like you to ask is, put yourself in the position of a recruiter. Again, it's not about having that little paper, which is nice to have, I've got my license. It's about what makes the difference to get the job. And if I was a recruiter today, and I have people in front of me, you all got the same paper, you all got the same license, you all got a professional EASA license. So what's going to make the difference? As a recruiter, I will start looking what you've done in your training. This student is capable of taking off from Orlando, Miami, Prague, Berlin, etc. The other one has been circling above an aerodrome. No international airports. The other one has level 5 on English level. Maybe some students are still doing the training in their own language, which is, I think, a mistake. It's English, which is the aeronautical language, right? One student has, he has the tick the box. He has the 75%. Let's say 77. Wow. The other one has 92. Okay? As a recruiter, who would you choose? Today, when I'm talking to airlines, and I think Miroslav can emphasize that as well, what they're telling me is that we only take, and now I'm going to be very, very positive here, right? We only take 20% of the candidates that come to us. And I'm very positive. With FAIR, we are the ones, the 80% that they're taking. Because we had the capacity from the beginning and the honesty from the beginning to not give you false hope and to say no. Thank you.
Okay, and if you need some more questions, we are on booth G12 down there in the northern corner. You're most welcome to come to visit us.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
thank you, Miroslav and Krista. G12, there are actually a few questions,
Yep.
but let's leave them at your stand.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Please
Thank you.
make some applause.
Thank you.